In this video, we got to talk about eBay scams that are on the rise and the weird phenomenon of stupid high prices. Stay tuned.
Bry's Comics.
First off, we do a giveaway here on my YouTube channel and at the newsletter for bryscomics.com. Subscribe to both, comment on this video, and like this video, and you're entered to win. This month, we're giving away some really sweet slabs. So I spend a lot of time on eBay because I'm hunting a bunch of different books for my PC if I can find them at the right price. And these past few weeks, I've seen a huge increase in scam listings, and I thought I need to do a video about this. And the first thing I want to say is if you see a fraudulent listing or an obvious scam in our community, please report it. If you have a YouTube channel, please make a video about it, draw some attention to it. If you have an Instagram page, make a post about it, because the reason these scams are popping up is because some people are falling for them. If they weren't effective, if people didn't actually fall for these scams, the scammers would lose interest and they would go away. So the less successful these scams are, the less likely they are to pop up. And that's where we all come in as a community, is we need to come together and report these things. So let's jump into my phone here and take a look at some of these scams. All right, so here we have one, Fantastic Four number 48 and a CGC 9.4. Absolutely incredible book. And you can see in the listing here, it says, please read, I'm selling this on behalf of my company. This item can be purchased at the buy it now price only. No bidding allowed. Please do not bid. All bids will be removed. We do not respond through eBay messages. So this is one where it was listed as an auction. And the reason I have to do it on my phone is because it's been taken down off of eBay since then. They usually don't last long. They usually get taken down pretty quick, which is great. But I took, some screenshots so that we could see what it is. And it's always the same thing. It says here, if you want to buy it now, please contact us only at this email address and include the item number. So you send them an email, they send you some links or something, take you to some weird place. Every one of these scams is the same. Is they take you off of eBay, capture your payment, and then ghost you. You never get the book. They never actually want these listings to end. They don't want the auctions to end on eBay because they're never planning on getting the money through eBay. It's always about taking you off eBay to capture the payment. Here you can see this is the seller, PC Center 528, and he's got over 3,000 positive feedbacks. Now, this is strange because I've never seen one. That's why I wanted to do this video, is that they're getting a little bit more believable in the sense that they're using like this established eBay seller. And I think what probably happened here is that this account got hacked. Maybe this was like an abandoned eBay account and it got hacked. They post this listing so that it looks more believable. Another thing that they often do is they'll just start a brand new account. It'll have zero feedback and they do the same thing. They just post a link and try to take you off eBay to capture the payment. Obviously, if you're protected through eBay, if you were to ever actually buy one of these fraudulent listings, it's a pain in the butt, but you could probably get your money back by going through the eBay buyer protection program. So they're never actually trying to get the money through eBay. It's always to get you off of the site. So the description goes on to say, please, no time wasters. We only sell at this price. Please do not contact if you don't wish to buy. Please check out the pictures and contact us. We accept fast sale for this item at the price of $4,800. So this book, the last sale was $31,000 for Fantastic Four 48 and a CGC 9.4. So that's one of the takeaways from this as well, is if it seems to be too good to be true, it probably is. If there's a $30,000 book listed at the buy it now price of $4,800, it's a scam. And I see this on Instagram as well. Sometimes, usually on Instagram, it's a little bit more believable. They'll post like a really hot book that's like a $3,000 book and post it for $2,000, and then make sure that it's friends and family and that you have no recourse if they don't do it, or they ask for a wire transfer. And the takeaway is, if it seems too good to be true, it usually is. So here we have another listing, another Fantastic Four 48. This is the same scam. It's actually on the same account. And it's really interesting that sometimes they'll just go hard on one book. Like I think there was 3 scams for a Fantastic Four 48. And as you can see, the pictures, are good. They're just stolen pictures. They just take them off of other listings. And here you can see it's the same seller. I actually saw it with some other listings as well. I saw it with one that was a brand new account, zero feedback. They had a grail posted and it was an auction style listing. You read the description and all it said was, please go to this website website to actually buy the book. And the auction actually ended, and it ended at a really low price. It ended like, $2,500 less. It was like a $5,000 book. It sold for like $2,500. Hopefully that person never actually paid for that, but it's, problematic because that sale actually went into GPA and showed that that book was a super low price. And that could look really bad for our community and for our market, is if there's like a huge dip, this outlier low sale, half the price of what it normally is, it just can cause confusion. And it's no knock on GPA, they just report sales on eBay, and the sale, I don't think they have it within their power to like manually investigate every single sale, so I'll reach out to them and let them know that that was a fraudulent sale, and I'm sure they'll take it down. But it's part of the reason why it's so important to report these things, because they could go into sales records and that could actually damage the value of books. All right, so now that we talked about the current scams, I want to talk about crazy high-priced listings, because although it's definitely not a scam, it's a weird thing we see on eBay all the time, and it brings up some interesting concepts, so it's worth talking about. So somebody reached out to me on Instagram, and they said, hey, I'm a new collector, and I just have this honest question about something weird that I'm seeing on eBay. I'm looking at Thrawn number 1, it's a 1 in 50, and I see it's going for around $2,000 or $3,000, but I see this one listing for $35,000, and I just want to know, like, why would somebody list the same book 10 times higher than the going price? And I told the person, I said, they're just delusional. There could be any number of explanations like why they would actually do that, but usually it's either they're just completely delusional and they think they're actually going to get that price, or maybe they're trying to manipulate the market in some way and say that this book is, this listing is so crazy high, and think that's going to influence it. It's just a delusional waste of time. They're wasting their time, and they're wasting your time by you actually looking into it. And he said, well, I actually messaged them and asked them, because I'm a new collector, and I wanted to ask them, like, hey, is there something special about your book? Like, why is it listed 10 times higher? And the seller responded and said, no, it's definitely the same book as the one that's listed for $2,750. It's just, I've already sold a couple of copies of this. They're coming out with a movie, and I think this book is going to be big. So it is possible that that seller is actually deluded enough to think that he'll someday get $35,000 for Thrawn number 1, 1 in 50. That book will never, ever approach that price, no matter what. Even if they did 10 spinoffs and it became the most popular Disney Plus character ever, that book is never going to be a $35,000 book. The long story short is to just ignore those people. And I used to do the same thing when I was new to collecting, and I would see a listing like that on eBay, it would just get under my skin. I'd be like, what is your problem? And I also just wanted to understand. I wanted to understand, why would somebody list something 10 times higher and there's half a dozen listed at a lower price? And what I found was that these people were just delusional, and you can't talk or reason with a delusional person. It's just a waste of your time. So you just ignore those. Now, there is a very important distinction to make between delusional people pricing things way higher than they'll ever go and the next record-breaking sale, okay? Those are two very different things. Record-breaking sale prices happen every day in the comic book market, and if you start to get good at predicting them, it can take your collecting and this hobby to a whole nother level, and that's what this channel is all about. It's about tips on how to have this hobby fund itself, and I'm trying to write a video about how to predict when there's going to be a big price jump for key issues, but it's turning out to be incredibly complicated. We'll see if I can ever get that video done, but I have a similar situation where I just sold a copy of my Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1 CGC 9.6 newsstand for $4,000 on eBay, a record-breaking sale up from $2,750. I bought the book about a year ago for $2,000 because I knew eventually it would be a $4,000 book, and that eventually it would be worth even more than that. But my intention was to double up to $2,000, and I thought it would take about a year for that to happen. And recently, a subscriber commented on one of my videos and said, in the real estate market, it's all about location, location, location. And in the comic book market, it's all about timing, timing, timing. And I could not agree more. I knew eventually it would be worth 4K, but not right away. We'd either need to see Miles introduced in the MCU, or the market would need to continue to explode in the way that it has to eventually get to that 4K mark. So I didn't buy it for 2K and immediately list it for 4K. I didn't want to look like one of those delusional sellers and lose credibility. So I waited for the right time. And so all of this to say, there's a difference between a delusionally high-priced item and the next record-breaking sale price. It's all about supply and demand. If there's half a dozen listings listed for 2K and you have yours listed for 3 or 4K, guess what? You're delusional. You're blinded by the desire of wanting to get next month's price today. Just don't waste everyone's time and don't list it yet. Wait to list it. It very well could be worth 3 or 4 grand, but you're going to have to wait until the time is right. Now, if the last sale for something was $2,000 and there's a half a dozen listings and the lowest one is $3,000 or $4,000, that's not delusional. That's the next record-breaking sale, because everyone that has a copy is not willing to let it go for anything less than 3 or 4, and that's how prices go up. So I found that these price increases need to happen naturally in order for them to stick. I see people trying to manipulate the market with delusionally high prices all the time, and it just doesn't work. It needs to happen naturally because of demand. Case in point, even the new collector that was interested in that book that was listed for $35,000, even he brand new collector isn't going to fall for that. So who are you trying to kid with these overpriced listings? I'm continually pleasantly surprised about the natural progression of the comic book market and the strength of this hobby and the strength that we're seeing across the board. It's truly an amazing hobby, and you don't need to be delusional or manipulate things in order to make a profit. You can still be an honest individual and do really well for yourself and sleep great at night. Please report any scams that you see, ignore the delusional listings, and don't be that guy. Subscribe to the channel and the newsletter at brycecomics.com to win awesome free slabs, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bryce Comics.